Hi, I'm Jessica, Chef Jess Swift, classically trained chef and registered dietitian, partnering with food as medicine for everyone. And today we're going to be making a spicy and smoky, delicious garlic pickle recipe. And it's super simple and falls right in line with your digestion module. Now, to get started, you only need a few simple ingredients. And the most important is your brine. Now, out of everything in this recipe, you just have to make sure that your brine is measured out correctly. So today we have 6 cups of hot water and 2 tablespoons of sea salt. And I'm just gonna pour this into my hot water and we're gonna go ahead and give it a stir. Now, you really don't have to have this all the way boiling. You really just kind of want to dissolve the salt. So I'm just going to give it a quick stir and kind of let the heat do the rest of the work for me. Now, while that's dissolving, we're going to go ahead and get started on our mason jars. Now, for this recipe, we're just going to need our mason jars. I have some mini cukes here. That are great. I just went ahead and soaked them in some ice water for about 15 minutes. You want to make sure your pickles are crispy. So doing things like soaking them in the ice water. Also, we're going to use some really good tea for the tannins. All of those things help you get that really nice crunch in your pickles. So I'm going to take my mason jars. So here I have some mini cukes. I'm going to take them and they've just been on some ice water. And what you want to do is just start building your pickles, okay? So you're going to take your pickles, and I'm just putting them all in the jar. This is a 32-ounce container, so typically anywhere between 4 or 5 pickles you can kind of squeeze in here. So let's do 4 here, and also depending on the size of the cucumbers. All right. And actually, let's see, I think we might can get 5 in here. Awesome. Okay, so now, basically, you can put anything you want. Well, not anything, but almost anything. So I have some Fresno chilies. I have some Serrano chilies. I really like my stuff spicy, so I'm going to do a combination of both. I'm just gonna stick a couple of Serranos here. I'm also going to take my Fresnos, and to even make it a little bit more spicy, I'm going to go ahead and slice them in half and expose the seeds so that your pickles are going to get an extra kick. You also want to be careful that you don't really touch the seeds, so I'm going to grab them from the outside and go ahead and stick them in. They also give you really pretty color. So let's just do 1 exposed in each. And if you start running out of room, just kind of wiggle things in there. You really want these pickles and peppers and everything else to be really tight in the jars. Next, I'm gonna add a few bay leaves. So you can just add 2 or 3 to each container. All right, so I have my bay leaves here. Next, I have some beautiful pickling spice, and I've actually added some peppercorns inside. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pour this in. All right, that's beautiful. And if you didn't think it was spicy enough, I'm gonna add a little bit of red chili flakes. Just a touch. And again, remember, you don't have to add all of these. For our herbs, we're going to do some dill. And this is just tearing the dill. You can do a rough chop if you want, but why? Why waste time chopping? So I just kind of like tuck it all down in there. And if you want your pickles really dilly, then just put extra. And then we're gonna do some basil. And now with these, I just like grabbing them and I'm just gonna give them a tear. Again, why chop? You don't have to. All right, so we're gonna stuff that in there, and some of this. And then again, we're gonna get out some of our aggression, and I just have some peeled garlic, and I'm just going to smash it. You just want to expose all that beautiful garlic. Just kind of get that down in there. And if you like them more garlicky, feel free. You can add more garlic, okay? So here we go. And our jars are getting full, and that's good because you want to make sure that you fill your jars with liquid all the way to the top. Okay, so now you can use grape leaves, you can use other kinds of teas. I have done this recipe with green tea before, and it's worked out well. Now this Lapsang Sochan tea, although it's quite the tongue twister, it is absolutely delicious. And really smoky. It's really smoky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some of this. And the more you add, the smokier your pickles will be. Sprinkle. Perfect. Now we're almost done, but not before we add in our brine. So now that the salt has dissolved in the water, we're going to go ahead and take this to the sink and have a measuring cup. Be careful, as you know your brine is hot. Pour this. And I like to pour it over the sink just in case we have any mistakes. Okay, perfect. So now I'm gonna take my brine and I'm gonna pour it into the mason jars. And before we do that, can you see the colors here? Look at the Fresnos, you have your pickling spice, we have that Lapsang Sochan tea, we have our garlic, and you want to make sure that you get this brine all the way to the top. There we go. Perfect. Now we'll do it again. All right, and our second jar. Remember, we want to get this all the way to the top. And it just smells so good. You can smell the tea, you can smell the pickling spice, you can smell everything starting to open up with that warm water. So we're gonna go ahead and top them. Perfect. Again, make sure that if your jars are too large and you will have space in between, you want to make sure that you have some kind of weight, and they do have canning weights, or even a small clean rock, just anything that will keep your pickles submerged. That's the key. All right, so I'm just going to date it. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten these. Oops. Come on in. Got a feisty one. All right, so I'm just gonna refrigerate these, and in about 4 days, I'll check them, and we will be enjoying some spicy, smoky garlic pickles.